and then it carries on cooking. So it's little bits all over that make a difference. But the biggest difference you can make is create this wetland. That's just any water you use, you double it, you reuse it straight away. Yeah. So guys, try and use stepping stones. Stepping stones. Don't walk in the garden. Yeah, yeah. So there's stepping stones everywhere. We don't compact. It just acts like a sponge. So and mulch, mulch, mulch. Whenever you see grass clippings, bring them into the garden. Spread them. You'll never have enough. This is from a cycle race. I stole a few of those.
Bales.
Yeah, no, I had to. My little Suzuki Jimmy, I did 3 loads, and it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
distributed.
but really, most of the stuff was made using rubbish. You know, you can make a wall like that with tires, but these are long sandbags. Um, and this is a sewage wetland. So from the Biogas digester, there's a 60 centimeter wide. There's a brick wall. That's the width of the width of this brick wall. Yeah, and it runs 14 meters that way, and then the water at the end. So we can walk this way. So you guys can walk on the wall, or you can use the stepping stone. So let's go that way. Yeah, you can spread out. Here you can walk on the earth because we're still working on it. So sewage goes through. So there's a vegetable bed, which we haven't got to, so I'm not explaining my garden as the best. But the technology is there. Whatever you plant now will just pump, you know. And here's the wetland. It's narrow. There's a piece of wood. And again, we use plastic. We use carpet, free carpet that you get from a carpet replacement company, and we just line it so we don't tear the plastic. You get the carpet for free, and here's the sewage. Here's my, you know, literally the stuff that comes out after the wetland. There's
Black
no
water.
smell. There's no smell at all. I mean, I wouldn't drink this water, but it's really divine for irrigation. There's no smell. Yeah. There's not at all. The 14-meter wetland, it sorts it out. So basically, with everything I've shown you, and everything is separate. The sewage is separate, here is the wetland. The grey water is separate, there is the wetland. The pool is separate, not mixed, is the wetland. The grease trap sends the water automatically to the garden, separate. These little bits make up a whole difference. And then once you plant, off you go. You can grow anything. But I haven't got to the garden yet. But the grey water wetland, the grey water irrigates. So we put everything on irrigation. But if I'm to do it again, I'll do it on drip under mulch. So when you're mulching this thick, your sprinklers are not even getting to the soil. So just take that lesson from me. So just run the drip line, and it will be like much more specific and. Yeah, so let's come through. I know it's a little bit messy. Yeah, just test now. And it's local. It should be this side. Yeah. How are you? But it doesn't smell. And here is another trick. So it's good that you're seeing. Come have a look here. So here's the start of a food forest. So you observe on your land where is your mad water coming from. Where is that point where it floods the lawn? So here's a food forest spiral which starts here. And at the next workshop we're going to hit it and we're going to make it into a food forest in 2 days. So basically it gets filled with logs, sticks, mulch, manure, logs at the bottom, and any water coming from gushing down just drops in. Because logs are so loose, it just drops in. So when we finish with this whole garden, yeah, you can have a look. Steel, dog tins, will all rot and make nice iron for the soil. So rubbish, literally rubbish. We're not talking about expensive. Doesn't have to be a spiral. It can be on contour line. Must be on contour line. So why? Water flows 90 degrees to contour line. It's just what it does. It flows down. So if you do it, and it's easy to find a contour line. It's an A-frame. So an A-frame, 2 sticks with a stick across. A string with a stone. When 2 legs are the same height, the stick and the stone is in the middle. And you walk it. Oh, no, the string is there. Oh, the string is there. Ah, when the string is in the middle, you know that this leg is the same height as it. And you just walk it. 2 meter wide. If you're doing it alone, 1.5 meter wide. And you just walk it. And you put little pegs. Where the legs, you move over the leg. Okay, that's it, peg. Then you do find the next one. And then you've got the contour line and you dig. A little trench. 1/2 meter, maybe 1/2 meter deep. You fill it with log sticks, mulch, manure. And when the water comes down, it just drops into the trench. And then you'll fill it with the soil that you take out, you put back on top. So when you finish, it looks like a garden. Okay. Just like, yes, it will do settle, so you might need to bring in a bit of soil, I'm not going to lie. But ultimately, the technology is you're going to have 500,000 liters every time it rains. And the water will stick there. Once this is mulched, so you make your pathways, you mulch, and then off you go.
Okay.
Okay. So in my case, because it's a spiral, it will travel all the way to the center. It will travel all the way to the center, and it will just. And obviously, with food forests, you start with your garden generally. East is your vegetable garden, and then west is your trees. And the tallest trees are on the west-west, so they're on shade. You don't want to put a mulberry on your east side of the garden, and then your whole garden is shaded. It's just like insanity. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's all graded. You've got a food forest spiral.
I've got a spiral. I haven't got a food forest. We never got that far.
You never got that far. Okay.
We had one summer of amazing production. It was so
In the world, and you plan. You take a tracing paper and you check because you're planning in time and in size. Because of your mulberry, there's a white mulberry, 30 meters tall. So you got to plan a side view, and it's 20 meters wide. You got to plan a top view.
Okay.
So you can't just like take this little tree that you just gave me as a present now and say, "Ha, here we go," because 30 years later, it's a beast and it's shading your entire house or uprooting. So you really like, you got to work with a tracing paper. And you work it in like 5 years' time. What is this thing going to look like? Because maybe next to it, for the next 5 years, you can still grow some things like a vegetable garden. So you can't like have nothing because that thing is going to be there in 30 years' time.
Yes.
But but then you ultimately have a drawing when like what is it like in full size, the width and the height, and you do side view profile of east to west and north to south of your garden. So on the south side, west, you got the tallest trees. On the north side, you got the shortest trees. On the west, you got the tallest trees grading down so nothing shades each other. And on the east, you got the vegetable garden because that's small. And then of course, you can do whatever else. So that mulberry tree on there will be coming down because of that tree. I don't get sun until 12 o'clock.
Oh, that's no good.
My vegetable garden. So
half the day gone.
So you got to really like plan it through. The vision is to when you move onto your land, you spend a year before you start putting like building or fruit trees and all of that. Oh, it's just a dome. It's my next course. It's gonna be a
geodesic.
It's gonna be a food growing machine with fish under your feet and wetlands and upside down tomatoes and. But let me show you the dome home. Ooh. No idea. They say it's cassava, but it doesn't look like that. The leaves look like cassava, but it doesn't. Honestly.
But there's going to be another person.
This lap is coming down, hence maybe we should go around that way.
I saw this on your video.
Yeah. Okay, so I've proved it to the world that you can build a house for free in a month. This is 2 weeks. 2 21 students paying me $1,000 each to build a house for me, and at 6 o'clock in the evening I have to beg them to go and eat. I proved it, it worked. So basically aircrete, we'll show you the bricks, we made it ourselves from soap and cement. Sandbag, which is a very different structure, it's long bags, there they are. Polyprop, again, 1 Rand 50 per meter, the barbed wire is 1 Rand 50 per meter, so we're talking about 3 Rand per running meter to build, and it's this thick, so it takes about 4 bricks. So 4 bricks times a meter, we're looking at about, what, 50, 60, 100 Rand, I don't know, 50 Rand, this is 3 Rand in building material.
Okay.
So immediately now the whole thing of bonding your house, so there, 2 weeks. And then, I mean, these are students, so they're not all worked. We made these shapes ourselves from scratch. That was a week of shapes. This house went up in 4 days. Yes, it's not finished, but really, you know, it's another 3 days on top.
What are you going to do for the roof?
No, it's going to have a whole roof and then a skylight. Yeah. We're just going to carry on. So come and the skylight, little pieces of triangles with some silicone, nothing fancy, and on a steel frame, and just stick it on top, same as on that one. So that's a sandbag, rammed earth sandbags, and this is aircrete.
Sorry, Alosha, what?
Was 40,000 liters of water underneath the house. There it is.
Okay, what are you using as a foam generator for your aircrete?
It's a little dragon. It's basically a little pump that pushes water through a 50 ml pipe filled with kitchen scrubbing metal thing. Metal.
Oh, those like Brillo, right? Brillo, yeah.
Scourers.
Yeah, sports scourers, yeah.
Packed with that, and the soap and the compressed air just goes through that. It just foam galore.
So where did you get it from, though?
You can make it. There's designs online. I just bought mine from Dome Gaia, which is the people my teacher who taught me this. But come have a look. And these spirals also, there is no plaster on that spiral. We literally rolled the bag, we stuck it on there, and I came with a bit of cement slurry and painted it. So there's 2 effects you can do with the bag. No, barbed wire. I just put a strand of barbed wire, and that acts as a tensile ring. Doesn't let it pop out or move off, and then the shape of the house is compression. So you got compression and tension working. You can put a TLB on this house. It's not. And then we made our own little window frame. I ordered this, but just custom, and that's got 4 wooden dull sticks going in, and it's just installed for just to show you that it all works. 2 different materials. This is mass, so once it cools down, it stays cold. This is insulative, so it's just doesn't allow heat or cold to get out. So there are 2 different structures, but 2 weeks, 20 people, and they literally paid me to do that. So the money I use for my students, I invested to have leafy green cater for us and every single row, yeah. Not here. Here we use cloth at the bottom. The cloth doesn't allow it to pop down at this bottom level. Once you tip over, then you just lean bricks on each other. It's not finished, but still, 30,000 Rand on building materials. There. Done, A bit of air, you can put in pipes if you want to have additional air coming in. There's going to be a skylight. Welcome to come inside. You guys can climb, go for it. Climb. So here will be a little fish from Thailand that will scrub my feet. And I know it's small and you're like, but you're sitting on the floor. But I didn't have to bond this house. This is what I'm trying to say. Everything is made for human scale. There's going to be a cushion here with a additional little bag. So a nice cushion, you rest, We have to pay off our homes for 25 years. This was 2 weeks, 21 students paying me $1,000 each. We fed them well, and we taught them, and there we go. They just left on 27th of February. So I don't ask for that. I'm not interested. But yes, but I'm not interested. I don't think anybody else has tell me where I should build my house, how I should build my house. This is ridiculously strong. It's been approved in America. Really, I've got the stuff that they submitted. So yes, when we do like, if we ever do a proper village of these things, and we've got the right stuff for that. But in my house, I don't ask for, But that's things we can get away in South Africa. So I do respect what you're saying. Eh?
Molds for these blocks.
No, we put them into big forms, 1.5 by 1.5 meters. We poured the foam and cement, and we just chopped them with a blade 2 days later.
What are they?
Here's the block.
Like a hacksaw.
Uh,
Do they cut with a hacksaw?
yeah. And no, just a steel like it's still now that you hammer with a hammer. So
So what's the ratio of soap foam
it's 500 mils of pick and pay
soap?
soap to 2 bags of cement makes one of these forms, and that's 125 bricks.
Sure.
So still very minimal. And the sandbags is 1 to 10. One cement to 10 earth from under your feet. So if I dig the soil, I can test it and basically. But now in Joburg we don't have soil, so I have to bring in sand. But if you're on a farm, you're using your own sand from your feet. But it's 40,000 liters here. There is a dome. There's a dome that's here. Basically, the sandbags that you see
okay.
there,
No,
they go from the floor 3 meters deep. And there's a ferris, like a ring, with like a rebar, four rebars running with brackets, and then little rebars coming out, just to give you a bit of grip. And then I weave it like a Malawian basket, and then put mesh, and then a ferro cement like that roof.
And so there's no sand in there.
No,
Just
foam.
and cement.
Yeah, just foam. And then we'll carry on. So these are the compasses. They are all homemade, nothing fancy. And then basically what you do. So we have 4 compasses for 4 teams, and once the bricks get to this level, the compass you place it, that tells you where how the geometry. Yeah, the geometry. So we just how many rows? One. And we put 2 rows a day. So that's 1 day. 2 days. Yeah, done. That's it. So
has this got the strength of like a corbel arch?
yeah. It's catenary shape. So they're self-supported. The more pressure you put on an arch, the more stronger it gets. Provided it's buttressed. Hence this little funny thing coming out is a buttress. I know it's probably not well thought, but it was an afterthought. This was going to be an air-cooled room, but because you changed the sandbag, you've got to have every dome is only as strong as when it's a full dome, an egg. As soon as you're making an opening, you no longer have a dome. So hence the buttressing, which now can act as a couch, is going to be a nice little water feature. Everything again once made for human scale, but you don't have to have this in the room. In future, if I'm to build this, I'll just take this room further away and make the tunnel the buttress, and then have this space clear because it's not big spaces, so you don't go and build a 20-meter dome, but like 6 meters, 30 squares is pushing it. Like 5. This is a 4-meter diameter, 4.2 meter diameter. I'd say I'd push it to 5 for first build, but as you get experience, you can go. But it's not huge
I wrote
space.
to you about the dam under the house and the feng shui effect of living on top of water.
Is it bad or
The
good?
geopathic stress.
Not good.
Well, geopathic stress if you've got a stream under your house.
Yeah, but that's running water. Running water is good. Yeah, it's different. I would.
Standing and up.
I think it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem.
You could do something.
You
You could turn it into a cellar. Exactly, or like a hideaway place if we ever have, some breakout or what. But I just wanted to show that it's possible. You know what I mean? I'm really a spooky. I'm not trying to build this for people or. Yeah, simple. So I go and I learn from the masters, and I bring the knowledge back and I apply. And I've got the online course, which, by the way, today we put 2 courses: the water and the dome. We put it for the price of 1. So if anybody's interested, come talk to me. Really, it made it super affordable. It's $200, 2,200 rand for both courses. Every time I go, and it's about 6 courses international in one. Every time I go, it's $2,500 a pop. It's 1,000 for tuition, flights, accommodation. But so basically, it's really like extreme. I'm trying to bring it so affordable, and I guarantee that by watching these videos, you'll build a house yourself with water and all the systems.
How do you finish plaster?
Just gonna plaster it like you do a first coat, and then you just you bring trowels and you. I'm not a professional plasterer. There's some of these guys on the side of the road, they roll. Hey, they can a guy like outside. We had a guy come in and he did it in a day. Yeah. Oh, the house will create a gutter. We'll build a little wall all around, and then that gutter will channel water. And there's a pipe already. There's that black pipe. That's the inlet into the tank, and then the outlet is just underneath that house to overflow. Overflow must be always bigger than the inlet, so you don't have water coming up.
All the rain it will go into that tank.
Yeah, so it'll be like a little bench that you sit here with little plants and gravel, and then the water will filter, so like leaves and dirt, and then it will just channel underneath the house.
And what will you do for? Are you going to do 12 volt lighting inside?
Yeah, basically the acreage is so light you can shave it with a spoon.
No, I mean lighting to see at night.
Yeah. We'll shave the acreage with a spoon, put the conduit in, and that's the type of things that a family would finish. You know, if you want a cheaper house, you just hammer it out yourself with your partner, with your kids. My son helped me to pour the forms. Children were here plastering. They loved plastering. I had 2 girls here plastering. So it's really the idea here is to. Today is the first day or the first opening is to have a school where we can have kids coming here and we'll teach them how to make a wetland, small wetland, and we'll build with them a little dome so they can learn alternative ways. So just spread the word for us. We ultimately want a busload of children here arriving at least once a month, and then I'll pump them the whole day. You know, with vegan food, we'll just do a whole lot. And then I'm also thinking summer camps where they can have a whole experience, and we'll do a little 2, 3, 4 day thing. But it's really going to be this is a community space. I need a supportive community to carry this on. I can't do this alone anymore. I'm slightly buckling under pressure, but really need the help of the community to just get this thing off the ground. So if anybody's got ideas or anybody can help with getting hold of the schools, and the idea is to make profit. So if you are helping, once it gets rolling, that if you are phoning schools as an admin, then you will be receiving abundance for that. It's not a charity. We're not claiming that at all. We want to make profit. We want to do good. That's, I think, new reality consciousness. Yes.
Is this a
Ferro cement. Same as the dome underneath. Steel, rebar, mesh, cement. Not very eco-friendly, but still more eco-friendly if I'm to do a straight roof because I'll have to go a meter thick or half a meter thick with too much reinforcement. But catenary shape is self-supporting. Sandbag water tank. I don't know the piece of that. Sandbag water tank, 16,000 liters. The floor is slanted with a sump. You blast out valves at the bottom. Switch it on, and it blasts out all the muck. The water for the biochar filter gets taken 20 centimeters later. So the water filtration starts with your roof, and this is a bad example. Do not try and catch water from thatch. It's just horrible. So in my case, I had to do these fancy socks because the grass is just falling in by the bucket loads. But no, I was trying to be creative, but still, it's a foofy water. It's too much nutrients. So, but typical roof from your house will be like perfect. And then obviously leaf catcher for bits and bobs, and then that's a first, but that's fancy. And it was like people come, they charge a lot of money, but here's a simple first flush. So how it works is your dirty roof hasn't rained for a few months. The rain comes, this thing fills up. You've got a screen on top, so it stops obviously all the leaves. And then when the drum is full, there's a TP sends water into the big tank. So it gives you 150 liters of a washout of the roof. And then you can blast it out for veggies, and then it's ready for the next load. And you've got a much cleaner roof for water. You don't have the muck going in, especially that pollution after like winter rains. You're not getting that in. So that's your starting. The next point is the settling. So all the yucky water will settle, all the muck will settle, and this is the blast out valve. Floor slanted, and this is what Jojo tanks don't offer you. They don't even have that.
Yes.
So if you really think of what you have to do after 7 months, is you've got to go on your knees and sponges, and you've got to suck that muck up, because it'll get to a point where you open the tap and it reached that level of the tap. Here I blast it out. So we'll obviously teach all of this in the course. Materials are extremely cheap. There's the bags, polyprop, 1 rand 50 meter from weighing on fiber, Chinese company, Krugersdorp. That's the stuff.
Is
Really.
that granular polycarbonate?
No, there's no polyprop. Just have a look. It's quite strong. The milli suck
But
bags.
Milli bags,
It's
yeah.
polyethylene, it's polypropylene.
Polyprop.
Yeah.
But you know, some might say, yeah, but it's plastic, and why are you using plastic? You know, the amount, first of all, with that bag, I'm using one cement to 10 soil from under my feet. So I'm already, you know, minimizing drastic. I don't have to bring bricks in. And that's the biggest thing. You've got to, I take the soil from under my feet. I do bring some cement in. But, you know, I've got a tank that's going to last me 10,000 years, literally. You know, that's it. It's never going to go away. It's a rock. I tried to hammer something into here. The rebar didn't even go in. It's a rock. It's calcified. There's a chemical reaction that happens. It just turned into a stone. And that's at 8% cement. So whoever's done a tour, can maybe, is everybody in my database? Who's not in the database? If you're not in a worm bath.
Yes.
Guys, a nice warm bath. No onions, no citrus, no meat, no fish, no oil. But everything else. And basically, there's no smell. And there should be like a lot of worms.
What have you got? Riddles?
Yeah, Australian.
The red riddles.
Yeah, they
Yes.
just, yeah.
Yes. That's a red riddle.
So there's loads.
Okay.
The worms, they eat double their own weight in a day of stuff. And then automatic earthworm seed drip out. Yeah. So you just take the bucket and then you irrigate your garden. So automatic earthworm seed drip out. Here's a biochar filter, so that's linked to the tank, taking water slightly higher than obviously the blast out valve. And it goes from the bottom through a toilet valve. It's got a ball here. Okay, when the ball is up, it tells the filter it's full, and the water goes, so from the bottom up, through the gravel, overflows through the sand, and it's not like a puny, it's like 100 liters of sand. Goes down, and then overflows again, and through biochar, which we made ourselves from wattle, and we basically chopped up wattle into little nuggets, burned it into 2 steel drums, and then you make your own biochar, super, super cheap, like really, it's like almost free. And then it's clean water, and then that's hooked to a pump. Then I had a professional little plumber, just one of the sort of builder's warehouse side guys. Well, as professional he can be, but he's still, you know, can work with copper pipes, and he made me a little municipal disconnect. So there's 2 valves there. Switch off the municipal, switch on my own pump, and off I go. Lots of medicinal herbs. There's I think a type of geranium. You just toss it around. It's nice smelly herbs. You know, and just make tea, sorrel, obviously marigolds for focos. You know, seeds just just plenty. We haven't done much to the garden, so I do excuse myself. I just have been focusing on infrastructure. But now that everything is terraced, mulched, composted, and manured, anything you stick in here will just grow with minimal water. And yeah, there's just 2 valves there. If anybody wants to have a peek, one is for the pump and one is for municipal, the bottom one. Oh, a grease trap. So just it's got a basket. Yeah, it just smells a bit funny, but you don't smell it because it's all closed when you open it, and that goes underground into that trench, and the trench is filled with log sticks, mulch, manure. No, logs and sticks, and there's stepping stones on those sticks, and that water goes through a fat black pipe, and it just gets holes are drilled at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, so they don't get locked up, and the water just every time we drain a kitchen sink, it just goes into the garden, and it's level trench. Because if it's not level, it will go to one side. It's level trench, and the logs and sticks make it like loose and aerated, so they're just like, and then stepping stones on top. And that's where we started the tour. Yeah. Here's another little fancy number. I don't know if you haven't seen that. About half this. Just for my dogs. My dogs, so they don't go into the garden. So, pavement water, different quality water. Obviously dirtier. A car might be standing there with oil. So 4 pipes. One takes it to a pond that I've created there, you'll see. One takes it to a wetland. There's a brick wetland, sandbag wetland, and then that wetland is the typical 1,000-liter flow burn for 400 rand. You split it in half, and you get a 2.4 square meter wetland instant from 400 rand, and that gives you waterproof vessels. And then I actually teach that for free in my webinar. Brad, how's it going? Thank you. Blessings. Wild African ginger. It's separated from sewage, so you just got to separate everything from sewage because it's just crazy that we're sending everything with sewage away. So there's old sewage pipe. We've disconnected the sewage as well. We've got our own biogas digester with its own wetland that's separate. We've got our grey water that's close to a wetland. We've got a wetland for washing machine, which links with that wetland. And you don't have to have all these small wetlands, but just show you that you can build and then you don't have to have it all at once, you know. It's a little 1,000-liter container, a brick with typical bricks, so you can use a variety of methods. There's plastic, 3 layers of plastic and some carpet, free carpet, just to make it soft, and then plastic. And one overflows to the next, and then there is a sump around the corner. When that sump is full, it kicks in and irrigates the garden and sends the water to this drum. And this drum is linked to my toilet. And you don't even need to have the fancy, I tried to put a filter in, unnecessary. Straight from my wetland to a drum, flush in the toilet. So the toilet goes, yeah, gravity feeds. No. So one pump, you want to minimize electronics and fancy things. It's one pump and it just keeps the water right up and irrigates the whole garden. And then these 4 pipes, one goes to the pond, which is start to finish. One blasts out into the trench. The trench that I spoke about, the grease trap, there it is. That pipe. The one goes to recharge the aquifers and this groundwater. And the one blasts out to this wetland, so all my wetlands get a fresh intake of water every time it rains. So basically it just floods them through these 4 pipes. So why don't I mix it all together? Because you've got different qualities of water. Your roof water is your cleanest water. Why would you want to mix it with your pavement and oil from the car? Kitchen grease trap water is a different quality of water to the bath and shower because you just got a little bit of soap there and 200 liters of water. Why would you want to mix that? You know, it's different to the sewage because sewage smells and then kitchen water just had a little bit of and it goes underground. You know, it won't pollute the water. And then everything else goes through constructed wetlands that I'm not releasing it into the ground. I'm letting it be cleaned and then irrigate my garden. So I'm not polluting my groundwater. So basically what I've got, I've stopped every single water that I lose as in the garden gets used now. And then you've got the downstairs toilet that the pipes are dug under. That's the typical question. What do I do? There's a macerator pump that you can get that sits behind the toilet and just chops up the poo and sends it to a higher point. So that's the last thing I have to do. And then after that, I'm disconnected from municipal sewage line.
Should we collect a laundromat water to the shower water? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay? That's one night.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you use a decent quality
You know,
I
we don't want to
heard-
use bleachers and stuff, but the wetlands, if sized correctly, I was surprised. In America, Pantene and alles, the
Okay.
normal shampoos, not fancy eco stuff, but the wetland is 10 meters long.
Okay.
But it sorts it out. No
What is the
problem.
minimum wetland size?
You know, with eco soaps, so Brad, I'm there with you. That with eco soaps, I was able to run a house for 3 on 1.2 square meters.
That's small.
That's one of those square drums.
Yes.
So you double it up, you've got a big family, fine. But it's eco soaps, you know?
Yeah.
But as soon as you're starting to use Pantene, I'd say a little bit bigger. You don't want just soaps in the water. Why don't, or in the garden? Why don't you want soaps in the garden? They just build up in the soil eventually. And they like soil turns a bit yucky after a long time.
How do you get the soap out of the water? I just missed it.
The plants thrive on it. They love the soaps. They are water plants. Give them soap and they just pump. Really. Look at those papyruses. Do they look unhealthy?
Papyrus is gigantic.
Yeah. And half of these plants that we're picking from the side of the road is little leak or townships now. They've got so many of these wetland plants. You just dig out. Really.
Can we use bulrushes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very good. Very good. Any water plants. Any water plants. People ask me for names. Why? Just chuck whatever works, you know.
Yes.
And then you dig it out and you chop up the roots and you get one bulrush, will give you 50.
Okay.
And you share with friends and it's abundance galore. You know. And I know the garden is not like planted out, but we'll get there. But now everything is terraced. Now we're going to focus on the garden.
Because like bananas are awesome as well.
Yeah, but too cold here by the river.
Is it too cold? Yeah, because I'm up there.
You've got a
Microclimate.
north cliff. You're tapping into a rock. All the rockery,
All the nurseries are.
all the
Heat
rockery
of the
that's
rock.
about around your house is creating a microclimate. Because like a 50-ton rock, once it warms up, is going to give you heat until the morning time. So that's permaculture. You're thinking in those terms. So if you're making a garden, it's getting frost, paint the wall darker color, and that mass is going to give the warmth back. It's going to give you a little bump of a little few degrees that's necessary.
Okay. Can I ask a quick question, please? We've got an old swimming pool that we want to convert into like a pond. And I was thinking of putting a geodesic dome over it so I can maybe use that as a heat sink later. I'm going to warm the water. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, but your geodesic dome is round and your pool is rectangular.
No, I've got a way to make it elongated.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So
like
it
a
will-
bowl.
Yeah.
That'll be great. There is, I think, somebody's doing the whole pool into a garden conversion. I don't know if you've seen. There is a. Just have a look on.
Yeah, I've seen that into greenhouse actually. Pool into greenhouse. But I want to use the water in the
You
pool
wanna
as
use
is.
the water in the pool.
Yeah, like
It's a
aquaponics.
great- Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's what
Okay.
I'm going to do in the 40,000 teeth. I want to grow some carp fish.
You're going to use carp.
Because tilapia needs warmth. And it's too cold here.
That's why I want a dome over the pool and heat the water.
Maybe insulate your walls. Because you're going to lose your heat through the walls.
Yeah, we were looking at
Let's do
press
individual
nipple.
questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
you did. All right, sorry.
If anybody's got a quick question in terms of the water and grey water before we just carry on that way. Grey water, any questions?
The only thing I've got is like the system that you helped me design. Contain the first